Ladies and gentlemen, the Modern Warfare hat is back on because today we once again have a ton of information to talk about. Yesterday, Game Informer released their new magazine, which is mainly featuring Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and we found out a ton of things about the game. Character customization, Scorestreaks returning to the game in a way. Yes, not Killstreaks, Scorestreaks. On top of that, Specialist, Battle Royale, you name it, we probably figured out about it. So I thought I would make a video today covering all of those things. Of course, mainly focusing on that character customization because we got a ton of information on that. So today's a big one. So the gameplay you're seeing here, you might have seen some of it before. Unfortunately, when we went to go record in LA, we only got about 2.5 hours of playtime, so it's definitely possible that you've seen some of this gameplay on the channel before. So if you have, I'm sorry about that, but this video is mainly about the information that Game Informer gave us and some very new and exciting information as well, even involving Spec Ops, so make sure you stay tuned. Like the title of the video, I figured we should probably start with the character customization and the things that we know about that. So, as we've talked about in the past, operators are the new thing within Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Operators are kind of like specialist characters from Black Ops 4, the main difference being they don't have any special abilities related to that individual character. And with this Game Informer update, we found out how these operators are actually going to be unlocked and I guess completed if you want. So as far as the operators go, there are two divisions, the Coalition and the Allegiance, and each of them has 9 characters inside them plus a default character. When you first start playing the game, everyone is going to have access to the default character. However, every single one of the other characters is actually going to be unlocked via gameplay. So whether that be challenges, leveling up, I'm not 100% sure, but we now know that you don't have to buy any of these characters. All of them are going to be free, and all you have to do to actually get them is simply play the game, which makes me very, very excited. On top of that, they also enforced what I said in my previous video, where each operator has their own various personalities, appearance, voices, execution, and skins. Skins is something we weren't told about when we were in LA, so this is how you are going to customize each individual character. And as we found out, that skins are going to be one overall appearance for each character. So for example, you're not going to be able to put a hat on each individual character or a different shirt or different pants. Each character are going to have various skins that you can get, and it'll change the entire appearance of those characters. Now, I'm betting that some of these skins, or probably most of these skins, are going to be unlocked via microtransactions. And we are going to talk about microtransactions a little bit down the road, but as far as right now, we don't know what they are. But I'm guessing this is one way they can definitely put in microtransactions, and I'm okay with that. As long as they are appearance only, I'm okay that they put them in microtransactions, as soon as it's weapons and stuff like that. But like I said, these skins will not just affect an arm or a leg or a hat of the character, it affects the entire appearance altogether and makes them look completely different. So the one other thing that I will say about this character customization and specifically skins is I hope they do what they did with Black Ops 3, where each individual character kind of has their own hero gear, a set of challenges that you can complete to get a high set of gear for that character that is kind of like a dark matter skin for each individual character. I absolutely loved that in Black Ops 3, and with this model that they are making here, it sounds very plausible that that could be a thing that we see, and if it is, I think that's very, very exciting for the game. Now, as far as other customization goes, we also got some details on that as well. So one of the things that Game Informer told us about is a new type of item that is going to be in the game. So as we discussed earlier on a couple weeks ago, they implemented watches on your character. So on your character's wrist, there is a watch that displays the actual time wherever you live in the world. Now, they're going a step further with this by introducing something called a Tamagotchi watch. I think that's how you pronounce it, but basically what this is if you've ever heard of a Tamagotchi before, it was like a children's toy where you could feed and give water and take care of basically this little pet, and it would grow up, it would die, and basically what is going to happen is that this watch is going to display one of these characters, and if you're doing well in the game, they will act excited, and if you're doing poorly, they will act sad, upset, or even angry at you. It's really weird and doesn't really fit the realism of the game, but it's certainly interesting. It adds a little bit of character to the game, I guess, but not really what I was expecting when I saw all of these new pieces of information revolving around Modern Warfare. So the next big thing to me, this isn't a really big announcement. We've kind of had this for a while, but every server is going to be dedicated servers. As we know, crossplay is the thing, so PC to PS4, PS4 to Xbox, everything is on dedicated servers. It's kind of what you should expect at this point, but it's good to know that they are following through with that. So the next thing that Game Informer asked Joel about was whether or not Modern Warfare was going to have a battle royale. And his response was really interesting. Basically, he says, we'll have to wait and see. But he also goes on to explain that he worked at Respawn on Apex Legends, and he absolutely loves the genre of Battle Royale. Didn't say anything about whether they're working on it or anything like that. What I take away from this is that, yes, behind the scenes, they're screwing around with Battle Royale, but they don't know if they can build something good enough and succinct enough that will actually follow through and they can bring out to the public. And if they do, it might not actually be part of the final game. It might be coming out after, or it might just be a free-to-play separate game. Who knows? But to me, what that sounds like is that they're working on it behind the scenes, but it might not come to fruition. That's why he said we'll have to wait and see. If they weren't working on it, he would just say, no, like that's not a thing that's coming out with our game. But he says we'll have to wait and see, so it still leaves us guessing. So after this, they were asked about the Spec Ops mode, and they didn't really reveal much. They just kind of gave us a broad overview of what we're going to be looking at. A lot of it we already knew, but there's a couple new things that I found interesting. So first of all, this is a 4-player co-op mode that is going to be a continuation of the campaign. So the story that evolves in the campaign, which we don't really know much about yet, is going to follow through and going to continue throughout Spec Ops. I thought this was a really cool idea because they also announced that they are going to continue support for Spec Ops after the launch of the game, adding missions, new things, which means the story of Modern Warfare is actually going to continue after the launch. And this is something we've never seen with a Call of Duty campaign before. Yes, Zombies has continued on, but never the actual campaign story. And I think that's pretty cool. I think they're going to be able to do some pretty cool things with that as the game evolves. Now, on top of that, they also said that this is going to have more depth than ever before, and it will not involve zombies. There will be no zombies in Spec Ops whatsoever. So what does this mean? What are we expected to see here? I don't really know. There's been rumors revolving around an open world map. There's been rumors around just a giant map. There's been rumors around it kind of being like a PvE thing, kind of like Destiny does, where you go through an open world, completing missions and getting different challenges and gear for completing those missions. And I think that would be pretty cool in a Call of Duty game, because then you could unlock specialist characters, operators, unlock via various challenges. But I don't know. That's just speculation completely based off of that limited information that we were actually given. So just as a summary of what we've learned, it's a 4-player co-op mode with no zombies, a continuation of the campaign with more depth than ever before, and it's going to be supported post-launch. That is all we know so far. Now, one of the other things that we've learned this week has actually put out some of the flames on some of my concerns about the multiplayer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And this one was actually given to us on Twitter by Joe Secott. He is one of the head developers for multiplayer. And what this has to do with is kill streaks. So the first thing that I wanted to see is specialist kill streaks. These are the streaks where as you get kills, you get more perks. And then once you hit like 7 or 8 kills, it gives you almost every perk into the game. And what Secott actually announced is that this is in the game. It wasn't in the build that we actually played, but it is going to be there at launch. And it's not a perk that you have to actually use. You just turn it on and it replaces your kill streaks. This is awesome. People love the specialist streaks, especially when going for nukes. So I can't wait to play with this. I can't wait to use it, and can't wait to become a super soldier with the specialist. Now, he also told us on Twitter that score streaks are not gone in this game. Kill streaks are the main mode of getting your streaks. However, there is a perk called Point Man. Now, what Point Man does is converts your kill streaks to score streaks, so that way if you're an objective player, you can still get your streaks by playing objectives, capturing flags, getting assists, and that kind of thing. Of course, it's going to take more score than your normal kill streaks, but you're going to be able to get that score in other ways, just like we've known and expected in the past many Call of Duty games. And I think this is great. The fact that they are adding options for every type of player. If you like to play as a specialist and get more perks, you can do that. If you want kill streaks, you can do that. If you want to chain your kill streaks together, there is a perk that does that. And now there is also the Point Man perk that allows you to use score streaks. This is awesome. I love that they are taking into account every single type of player, and it just shows you the care and effort that's going into this game. This really makes me excited. The fact that they are thinking of everything here and covering it, perfect. I can't wait to see what else is going to change as we get into the beta and the actual launch. Now, the final thing that we have to talk about is something called a rapid fire. They asked one developer, Joel, 128 questions, and most of them were pretty useless, I'm not gonna lie. Game Informer, you could have asked better questions, but there are 3 of these questions that I'd like to hone in on. The first of which is they asked, in regards to remakes of Call of Duty 4 maps, is there going to be any? And all they said is, we'll have to wait and see. So chances are, yes, there's probably going to be like a shipment in there, stuff like that. So there's definitely going to be remake maps. They just couldn't say that as of yet. The second thing that I wanted to hone in on is they got asked how many more new multiplayer modes they're going to be. And their simple answer was there are many multiplayer modes that have not yet been announced. That's kind of to be expected, but with like the new modes they're introducing, like realism, cyber attack, I want to see more of this. I want to see them keep developing and changing these game modes that they're working on, because that's really what keeps the game fresh for me. And honestly, I think Black Ops 4 has done a decent job at this year. However, they haven't really introduced a lot of brand new game modes. This new Infected one that they released yesterday is getting towards that, but nothing brand new like cyber attack is or realism is. And I want to see Modern Warfare still continue to expand on that. And the final thing is microtransactions. They got asked what's going on with microtransactions, and the developers answered, not focused on microtransactions at this point. That was their answer. And I get that. That is the way the game is developed in most cases. The game is actually built, and then come kind of December, January, that is when Activision goes, all right, it is microtransaction time. Time to reach into every player's pockets and take all their money. So I'm guessing on launch, we don't really see much about microtransactions. Maybe COD points are implemented somehow into the game, but I don't think there's really going to be anything big at launch. However, come December, November, January, that kind of thing, that is when we start to see the true colors of the game, and hopefully they don't go overboard with it, but we can kind of expect what we currently have. So that's all I'll say on that one for now. But that is everything we've learned this week about Modern Warfare, the things that we didn't know from the reveal. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd love it if you could hit that like button. Let me know what I missed here. If there's anything you want me to talk about revolving around Modern Warfare in the future, let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date on everything Modern Warfare, Black Ops 4, or anything Call of Duty, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have notifications on. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this to us.